Everybody is requested to please rise. We will start our regular session.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our 17th regular session. The 17th regular session is now called to order. May I request Honorable Mamisaran to lead the prayer to be followed by the singing of the national anthem.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of God in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Praise and give you thanks, Almighty Father, for all the goodness that we have received. Also forgive us in all our trespasses, as you send forth your blessings to us, all gathered here this morning. Let your Holy Spirit bestow upon us your godly wisdom, so that our minds meet harmoniously to come up measures for the betterment of your. We beseech you, Almighty Father, to make us all an instrument of your peace, love, and goodwill. We ask this through your only begotten Son, our Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
I am a Philippine councilor, mandated by law to enact measures and ordinances that redound to the general welfare of my constituents and their pursuit for happiness, peace, and prosperity. I believe in public service above self as a guiding principle of my basic acts. And as I tread the pathways of local legislation, may the Almighty guide my mind and heart that shall be true to my constituents and to the Filipino people.
Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 17th regular session dated April 26, 2021. It's point in time
motorcycle equipped with modified muffler or bora bora or altered exhaust system causing disturbance and nuisance to any private person or to its community in Barangay Quezon, Panabo City for review and confirmation.
Item C.4 to be referred to the Committee on Barangay Affairs.
C.5 is letter from Jovinal S. Barcenas, owner-operator of New Malitbog Galliera, dated April 20, 2021, requesting the Sangguniang Panglungsod members to allow its business to operate in compliance with the protocol set forth by IITF COVID-19.
Item C.5 to be referred to the Committee on Games and Amusement.
C.6 is letter from Honorable Jose E. Relampago, City Mayor, dated April 21, 2021, requesting for authority to enter into and sign the specific implementation agreements or SIA for the implementation of Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program for Peace of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. This is certified urgent.
Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, Honorable Poponor Catalan manifested his intention.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Majority Floor Leader. Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning to each and everyone. Mr. President, considering that this item is certified urgent, may I pray that this matter be referred to the unassigned business.
So move.
I so move, Mr. President.
To so by Honorable Catalan, duly seconded by Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Henteles, and Honorable Matutino. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, the motion transferring item C.6 to the unassigned business is hereby duly carried and approved.
C.7 is letter from Honorable Jose Relampago, City Mayor, dated April 23, 2021, requesting inclusion of the following City Development Council resolutions as the following. This is also certified urgent. A, CDC Resolution Number 01 Series of 2021, entitled Requesting the Sangguniang Panlungsod of Panabo City to declare a savings the amount of 4,870,375 pesos and 50 cents appropriated to various projects funded under the 20% development funds in AIP calendar year 2018 and calendar year 2020 and revert the same to unappropriated balance. B, CDC Resolution Number 02 Series of 2021, resolution recommending for approval of the Sangguniang Panlungsod of Panabo City the supplemental LDIP Number 1 calendar year 2021 containing the list priority programs, projects, and activities. C, CDC Resolution Number 03 Series of 2021, resolution recommending for approval of the Sangguniang Panlungsod of Panabo City the integration of the priorities of the LSB to the Supplemental Annual Investment Program Number 1 calendar year 2021 as embodied in LSB Resolution 4 Series of 2021. D, CDC Resolution Number 4 Series of 2021, resolution recommending for approval of the Sangguniang Panlungsod of Panabo City the integration of the priorities of the DRRMC to the Supplemental Annual Investment Program Number 1 calendar year 2021 as embodied in the DRRMC Resolutions 2 and 6 Series of 2021, and E, CDC Resolution Number 05 Series of 2021, resolution recommending for approval of the Sangguniang Panlungsod of Panabo City the Supplemental Annual Investment Program or AIP Number 1 calendar year 2021, comprising the program's projects and activities with various funding sources to be prioritized in the ensuing supplemental budget.
Item C.7 to be referred to the Committee on Finance and Appropriations.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, we're done with the committee referrals in other legislative measures. We are now on the committee reports. We have 6 items. Now, therefore, let me pass a resolution dispensing the reading of these 6 committee reports. I so move, Mr. President.
To sue by Honorable Duhali, duly seconded by Honorable Blase. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, the motion dispensing the reading of the 6 committee reports is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, a minute of recess. No, not yet. At this juncture, kindly do recognize the presence of the Honorable Renante Bangoy.
Okay, the Chair acknowledges the presence of Honorable Bangoy.
All right, is the one who are going to deliver his first committee report. Can you do again recognize Honorable Renan Manggoy?
Okay, Honorable Banggoy. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to pass a resolution adopting Committee Report Number 01, Series of 2021, Committee on Labor and Employment and Manpower Development, regarding the request for the authority of the city mayor to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Agreement between the city government of Panabo and the Panabo Multipurpose Cooperative for the conduct of different scales training in the city of Panabo. I so move, Mr. President.
Before that, the Chair acknowledge the presence of Honorable Anand.
The
It was
legendary.
moved by Honorable Banggoy, duly seconded by Honorable Pamisaran and Honorable Ambasan.
Okay, Honorable Presiding Officer, the period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
At this juncture, can we do acknowledge Honorable Wahid Ranain?
Okay, Honorable Anand is now recognized by the Chair.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. Good morning to everyone. Mr. President, I would like to ask to the proponent of this measure is what would be the participation of the LGU Panabo with the undertaking to be done by or to be made by the PMPC?
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Honorable Anand. Honorable Banggoy.
Kindly scan the committee report since it was stipulated in the MOA. Between the local government and the PMPC. Taas pa. Okay. These are the, it was written in the MOA that the local government has its own responsibility. One is the, for the participants of the will determine who would be the recipient of the said skills training and organizing of such training programs since the PESO office has several livelihood skills training program, and also there will be a technical vocational training provider for the conduct of the training. So we will be the one who will give trainers to the trainees, and we will be providing and we will be paying them, and also the PMPC will only coordinate such implementation as part of the partners, and the PMPC also has its the PPE to the trainees, and other funding assessment will be provided by the PMPC.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Banggoy. Honorable Anand.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Another, Mr. President, considering that we are in a crisis situation nowadays, considering of the pandemic, many of us have lost our job, particularly the katong mga labor force na to. Mr. President, for the benefit of our viewing public, what are the types of skills training to be offered by the PMPC?
Okay, Honorable Banggoy.
Actually, thank you, Mr. President. Actually, the PMPC will not be determining of what skills training will be provided. It's only the PESO, our Public Employment Service Office. Since all skills training will be, the PMPC will be our partner. And such the determined responsibility of the PMPC will be provided to each trainees. That's all, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Anand.
Thank you, Mr. Let me, I just like to be clarified, Mr. President, that the purpose or the role of the PMPC is to provide funding for the training only.
Honorable Banggoy?
Actually, the funding is not on a monetary, but on the equipment and some uh, those especially on the logistics and financial support without the need of reimbursement. So uh, they will be giving such items for the trainees, not in a monetary form, because there will be no reimbursement be implemented by the PMPC.
Okay.
Last question.
Honorable Nine.
Last question, Mr. President. How many expected beneficiaries can avail of this program?
Okay, thank you. Honorable Banggoy?
Actually, we cannot actually determine of how many, but it will be determined by the PESO, Public Employment Service Office, depending on how many trainees will avail on the said program. Okay, there are some instances that they will be providing such number of participants, but there are only few will avail.
Honorable Presiding Officer,
Okay, thank you.
first, kindly do recognize Honorable Dizon Amuang.
Can the Chair acknowledge the presence of Honorable Lamuag? Okay, any more, Honorable Nine?
That would be all, Mr. President.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Duali?
All right, thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Since this is a MOA or a Memorandum of Agreement or a Memorandum of Understanding to be signed by our local Chief Executive, Honorable Presiding Officer, this humble representation would like to be shed light with this undertaking. First, if we are going to make an agreement or understanding between both parties, it should be specific. This is such kind of program. This is a very noble program, but it seems to be that this is lack of a MOA agreement or understanding should be smart. First, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bounded. Honorable Presiding Officer, as what I have heard a while ago that the Honorable author had said that the PMPC will not extend the monetary thing to the local LGU, local government unit. I mean, take note that the PMPC is his main characteristic is a quasi banking. So if we can say that they will going to assist the PESO for this skills training, it should be stipulated that these are the followings. And so my question now will be thrown to the honorable proponent, Honorable Presiding Officer, that what will be the function or what will be the role of the TESDA? Since, correct me if I'm wrong, that I haven't seen any major major part of TESDA in this endeavor, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Duali. Honorable Banggoy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, that was a good question, Mr. President. Why why did this memorandum agreement doesn't identify such monetary as part of this provision of the MOA? First is we know, in fact, if there will be a monetary involved, that would be a great maybe we could not such audit, no? And the PMPC also stipulated that they will only provide some of the PPE because not all not all of the skills training will be provided by the PMPC. It is would be around I think that was 200,000 amounting to 200,000 as part of the items will be provided by PMPC. And the the peso will determine only uh, uh, we have several programs in the skills training, especially in the livelihood. So sila ang mag-determine of what that amount of item 200,000 will be provided by the PMPC. So ang peso office will be the one will submit all the requirements of the items needed for the trainees. And second one is about what the rule of the TESDA. Actually, we have also the Department of Labor and Employment, which is the part of this program. This is provided by the local government. Our PESO office has already funds on it in every skills training, and the rule only of the TESDA actually will be scanned on the local government unit responsibilities. Pababa daw, pataas. Okay, this one. In number 5, fundings of the training costs of the specific training will be provided by the locally funded project community skills training of the livelihood entrepreneurship program. This is already budgeted in our local government. And in number 3, the textbook training provider for the conduct of the trainings in accordance of the procurement process of such laws and regulation as may be applicable. So meaning all the textbook on trainings will be provided also by the local government. So this program will be funded by our local government.
Okay, a few questions, Honorable
Okay,
Presiding
thank you.
Officer.
Honorable Duali.
What is this tech book? Technical vocational training. Anyway, thank you.
Technical vocational training.
But as what I have said, Honorable Presiding Officer, I found it vague, and I sense the ambivalence of having this one. But anyway, I go with the but will be with the contention of the honorable proponent. But this is just a matter of a sort of absurd to me, Honorable Presiding Officer. That's all, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Duali.
All right, period of debate and interpellation is now closed.
Period of debate and interpellation is now closed.
Open the period of amendments.
Open the period of amendment.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Any objections from the floor? Hearing none. The motion adopting Committee Report Number 1, Series 2021, Committee on Labor, Employment and Manpower and Development, regarding request for authority of the City Mayor to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Agreement between the City Government of Panabo and the Panabo Multipurpose Cooperative for the conduct of different skills training in the city is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, second to deliver his committee report. Number 2, Series of 2021, Committee on Social Services. At this juncture, kindly do acknowledge the young, good-looking, and smart Honorable Lopon Royal Catalan.
Okay, good. Honorable Catalan.
Same as you, our Majority Floor Leader. Good morning to each and everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this representation would like to pass a resolution adopting Committee Report Number 2, Series 2021, Committee on Social Services, regarding request for authority of the City Mayor to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Panabo through the City Social Welfare and Development Office and the Department of Social Welfare and Development Field Office relative to the implementation of supplementary feeding program on its 11th cycle in the city. I so move, Mr. President.
To sue by Honorable Catalan, duly seconded by Honorable Duhali and Honorable Carisma and Honorable R9, Honorable Amisaran.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate interpellation is now open.
Honorable Presiding Officer, the Honorable Wahid Ranain.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable R9.
Thank you again, Mr. President and Mr. Floor Leader. Just like to ask the proponent, Mr. President, again, who are the beneficiaries of this supplementary feeding?
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. As presented in the MOA, Mr. President, a memorandum of understanding, Mr. President, ages 2.5 to 5 years old, if I'm not mistaken. It was presented during the committee hearing, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Honorable R9.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is that ages 2.5 to 5 years old, Mr. President, are exclusively enrolled in our daycare program, Mr. President, or all of the children ages in that are the beneficiaries, regardless of they are enrolled in the daycare program?
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Honorable Catalan.
Yes, Mr. President, as what transpired during the committee hearing, it is not totally limited to students enrolled in the daycare program. There are beneficiaries in the course of its implementation. There are beneficiaries that are not technically or are not enrolled in the daycare program, but in the course of the implementation, they were covered.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Honorable R9.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last question, Mr. President. Now, the item is, the MOU is on the 11th cycle, Mr. President. I'd just like to ask the proponent, what is the impact of the previous feeding, Mr. President, or do we have the report of this feeding program, and was it presented during the committee hearing?
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. What was presented during the committee hearing, Mr. President, was the number of the beneficiaries. In the 10th cycle, Mr. President, there were 8,000 plus. It was in the minutes on the committee hearing. There were 8,000 plus beneficiaries, but but this 11th cycle has the target of 7,000 only, because there was an increase in the number of malnourished children, as what the CSWDO has presented. But unfortunately, there was no data presented during the committee hearing as to the number of malnourished, so on and so forth. Only the number of target beneficiaries.
Okay, thank you. Any more, Honorable R9? Go ahead.
Last question, Mr. President,
Okay, go.
with regards to the word malnourished. If the child is not malnourished, he or she is not qualified for this feeding program.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. President, in the course of its implementation, actually as what transpired during the committee hearing, in the course of its implementation, what happened on the ground was that it is not limited to the malnourished children. Any children ages 2.5 to 5, if I'm not mistaken, mga students of the daycare program can avail. But there is a certain priority to those who are considered malnourished in their barangays, respective barangays.
Thank you
Okay,
so
good.
much. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable R9.
Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, another member of this August Chamber, Honorable Manuel Pamisaran.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Amisaran.
Thank you, Mr. President, and to our Majority Floor Leader. Good morning to all the members of this August Chamber. Mr. President, if my memory serves me right, during that time that the City Social Welfare Development Office asking for an authority to enter into agreement during the 10th cycle, one of the issues or concern raised in this plenary was the preparation of the menu because this is one of the important factor with regards to the implementation of this said program. Because as far as my observation is concerned, there's a lot of parents again raise the issue. Why is that the DSWD will be the one to determine the menu, considering that they're not the one who do the implementation with regards to this program. May I know from the proponent, Mr. Chair, if there is changes on the preparation of the menu? Who introduced this said menu? Still the Social Welfare Development Office, or the teacher, or the parents, or who is responsible for doing this, Mr. Chair?
Okay, good. Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also have the same stand also by the Honorable Pamisara, no, with regards to to the menu. What was presented during the committee hearing was that what happens in it with this 11th cycle is totally the same with the 10th cycle. Unfortunately, if we go back to the 10th cycle, as to its implementation, the agency who determines the menu is the DSWD, in line with their national program. If I think it was masustansyang pagkain para sa Batang Pilipino Act of 2018, which is the DSWD is the implementing agency. But the CSWDO can recommend or suggest to the DSWD for any adjustments of its menu. But primarily, the selection and the preparation of the menu is on the DSWD.
Okay, good. Honorable Misaran.
With that, Mr. Chair, considering that the source of fund is coming from the National Department of Social Welfare and Development Office, but then I still to manifest, Mr. Chair, that it needs an intervention of the city nutrition officer, no, as to the preparation of menu, because they are the one who actually serve or implement the said program or undertaking, Mr. Chair. That's only my manifestation, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, the distinguished gentleman from Barangay New Visayas is raising his hand. Honorable Dizon Namuang.
Okay, good. Honorable Namuwag.
Okay, thank you very much, Majority Floor Leader, and thank you very much, Mr. President, and the whole of the members of this council. I just want to ask the proponent, way before, when I was the barangay captain of New Visayas, there were problems in relation to the implementation. Okay, there were issues for that matter. One of it that happened the last time was that there were parents complaining because some rice were not properly distributed. It came out there was also some issues the last time that the rice was being at the daycare worker. Some rice were being damaged because of floods. So may I ask then, as to the implementations of the rice distributions in this matter, because of that particular premise that I had experienced before.
Okay, good. Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you, Honorable Interpellator. With regards to the monitoring of the program, because the concern of the Honorable Namuag is on the monitoring of the program, it lodges on the responsibilities of the local government unit as presented in the Memorandum of Understanding. So in that particular unfortunate incident, it is the LGU who will monitor through its CSWDO the proper implementation of the program. So if ever that problem will arise in this 11th cycle, the CSWDO will, the local government unit will be the one to monitor the implementation of this program. They can course such action to the CSWDO
Okay,
if there's any complaints.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Catalan. Go ahead, Honorable Namuag.
Okay, as I recalled, the DSWD policy the last time is that any rice that has been delivered to the daycare centers, it was being apportioned as to what particular number of populations each daycare worker is. No? So the number of sacks that are going to be delivered, as per the DSWD requirement, it has to be stocked within the daycare centers. But as I observed, such particular policy is very, shall I say, I cannot really foresee such particular security because of some particular thieves. No? So what I suggested really before is that to pre-distribute the rice. That is one reason then that others still reserved some particular stock in the daycare centers and some were being delivered and some were not being properly accounted probably. So ang point ko lang dito kasi I as the former barangay captain of New Visayas, I only presented this idea with the CSWD because lisod man good kung ang mga bugas i-stock sa daycare centers na tendency na mangawat, na tendency ma-damage. So matong I even wanted the last time with the CSWD, not actually with the present CSWD head, Ma'am Laquin, what has been the present scheme that they will have to do in relation to the distribution of the rice. Katulong, Mr. Chair, and whatever it could be, I go for the whatever CSWD can come up, which is particular. I'm just raising these concerns for the information of everyone.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Namuag.
All right, it seems that everybody has already been shed light by the honorable proponent. At this juncture, honorable presiding officer, period of debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate stipulation is now closed. We're now on the period of amendment.
Period of amendment is now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Any objections from the floor? Hearing none, the motion adopting Committee Report Number 2, Series 2021, Committee on Social Services, regarding request for authority of the City Mayor to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Agreement Understanding between the City of Panabo to the City Social Welfare and Development Office and the Department of Social Welfare and Development Field Office 11 relative to the implementation of supplementary feeding program its 11th cycle in the city is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, honorable presiding officer, for the second time, kindly to once again recognize the young, smart, and good-looking honorable proponent Royal
Okay,
Catalan.
go ahead, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I would like to pass a resolution adopting Committee Report Number 3, Series 2021, Committee on Social Services, regarding proposed City Ordinance Number 16, Series 2021, an ordinance creating an Office of the Senior Citizen Affairs and establishing the Senior Citizen Organization in the City of Panabo, appropriating funds there for and for other purposes. I so move, Mr. President.
To sue by Honorable Catalan, duly seconded by Honorable Misaran, Honorable Anain, and Honorable Dohali.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and stipulation is now open.
Honorable presiding officer, the Honorable Devona Huamil manifested.
Okay, good. Honorable Humamil.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer, and to our Majority Floor Leader. Good morning, everyone, and good morning to our proponent, Honorable Popop Catalan. I just have a few questions, Mr. Presiding Officer, regarding the legislation passed by Honorable Catalan. In the may I request the IT to please open the proposed ordinance? It's sa pinakababa siya. My question, Honorable Catalan, is from a legal standpoint, in the appointment of OSCA head, where is it? I'll just get my laptop, ha? Wait.
Legal pa lang, legal.
Okay. So in Section 6 of the proposed legislation, sorry, in Section 5 rather, the appointment of OSCA head, the OSCA head shall be appointed by the city mayor. However, I noticed that while we all know that an OSCA head is a senior citizen, of course. However, there is no mention of the age limit provided in the proposed ordinance. And while we will peruse the Republic Act 9994, it was stated therein that it was clearly stated that the Office of the Senior Citizens Affairs will be headed by a senior citizen. So just to coincide the provisions of the proposed ordinance and RA 9994, may we request, Mr. Chair, if the proponent will allow to stipulate that the OSCA head will be a senior citizen? Since in Section 5, letter A, the qualification is a Filipino citizen and a resident for at least 1 year. Yes. If you have any comment, you may go to the restroom. That one. I wanted the proponent to answer my question since he's the one who I'm addressing my question with.
Okay, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, Mr. President, no, that the concern of Honorable Humamil was raised during the committee hearing. There's no problem if we're going to specifically stipulate the age, but it was already stated in letter E, a bona fide member of a duly registered senior citizen organization. So it implies that a member is, the OSCA head is a senior citizen, because you cannot be a member of a senior citizen organization if, in the first place, you are not a senior citizen.
Okay, Honorable Humamil.
Thank you for that, Honorable Presiding Officer. I actually agree with Honorable Catalan. However, if you look at letter E, there is an additional qualification that the bona fide member should have a track record of at least 3 consecutive years. May I know what's the basis for this, considering that you cannot find that in the Republic Act 9994? What is the basis for the track record?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Humamil. Honorable Catalan.
If we carefully peruse letter E, Mr. President, the track record refers to the senior citizen organization. So, the senior citizen organizations we have right now, there are 40 senior citizen organizations comprising the 40 barangay of Panabo, and the organization is already been there for quite a long time. So, technically, those senior citizens organizations are qualified in relation to letter E.
Okay, Honorable Humamil.
So, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, this additional requirement is a stipulation made by the proponent and the CSWD and all other agencies who crafted this ordinance. This is an additional requirement not stipulated in 9994.
Okay,
Actually,
thank-
Mr. President.
Honorable Catalan.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, Mr. President, Section 5 was lifted in the Memorandum Circular of the Department of Interior and Local Government, number 2005-63. Actually, everything there, from letter A to letter G, is lifted from the said uh, memorandum circular, which provides for the implementation of the 994. So basically, what we did was just
Adapt.
we just lift this the requirements, the section 5 from the said DILG circular.
Okay, thank you. Good Honorable Mamil.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm more than satisfied with the answer of the proponent. For my last query, Mr. Chair, about the election of the senior citizens coordinators. Let's go to sections from section 12 to 13.
Sige.
Sorry, section 13. Before I state my question, Mr. Chair, I'd like to say a few words lang about the election of the senior citizen coordinator. I really want to know the essence of selecting a senior or electing, or rather, I want to know the essence for the election of the senior citizen coordinator. To specify, the senior citizen coordinator will only get 1,000 honorarium per month. However, the selection of this coordinator is very extensive, since, for lack of better term, since they will undergo an election na, sorry to use the word, pero kanang murag kanang hago ba, in the sense kay they are electing this coordinator na sa taas kayo na process. And as I perused also the Republic Act 9994, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I did not see any kind of process like this. So may I know what is the essence of this very extensive selection of coordinator among the 40 barangays of the city, Mr. Chair?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Mamil. Good Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for that question, Madam Interpolator. Actually, Mr. President, in every organization, there has to be a representative to represent especially this senior citizen. Senior citizens in every barangay has to elect their president, who will represent them in the city, in the federation. Now, during the I think in the last term, it was in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, when we increased the honorarium of the senior citizens president, it was strongly suggested by the city legal office to craft or a manner of election to this and guidelines as well to these senior citizen coordinators per barangay. Basically, for the purpose that they are not government employee, they are not directly working or employed in the city, and yet they are receiving honorarium coming from the local government unit. So, to strengthen or to legalize the disbursement of funds, it was, if I remember it right, it was suggested. In fact, it was the city legal office who crafted or helped in crafting such manner of election in order to standardize the manner of election of senior citizens coordinators in every barangay. And this also goes with other organizations such as the PWD and persons with disability.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Catalan.
Before that, Mr. President,
Okay,
I'm
go
sorry
ahead.
to cut you off. It was not in the Republic Act 994, because RA 994, if you look at it, it only talks about the OSCA head. Now, this ordinance actually, this proposed ordinance is providing the OSCA head of Panabo City and at the same time the senior citizens coordinators of every barangay. Naan naman tayo senior citizens coordinators karon sa mga barangay, no? What we also have an OSCA head, but this ordinance will consolidate the manner of election, manner of appointment, and the appropriation of funds for their honorariums and salary in the case of OSCA. So this senior citizen coordinators per barangay is a creation of a city ordinance, and RA 994 only talks about OSCA head. That's all, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Catalan. Good, Honorable Mamil.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to ask lang if, do we have any other coordinators from barangays who undergo election, or is it just the Office of the Senior Citizens Affairs? Do we have any, Mr. Chair?
Okay, good. Good, Honorable Catalan.
You're referring to any other organization?
Or any other person, may I answer, Mr. Chair?
Okay, good.
Or any other person selected as coordinator who undergoes election.
Okay, good, Honorable Catalan.
Mr. President, I can answer only in the case of with regards to the Committee on Social Services. For example, senior citizens, persons with disability, solo parents. These are organizations established in every barangay, which also exercises election in way of selecting their officers and their presidents / coordinators. Now, in the long run, the local government unit, before I became a legislator, the local government unit acknowledges the vital function, the role, and the importance of these positions, because they are the one who helps in the implementation of the programs coming from the national or be it from the local government unit, and they are doing it voluntarily. That's why the essence here is the city government of Panabo is providing honorarium to these presidents for their transportation, for their allowances in going to and from their respective barangay to the city to attend meetings. That's the idea. So, particularly, this proposed ordinance consolidates the manner of election of the senior citizens coordinators of every barangay and providing funds for its for their honorarium, and at the same time incorporating the creation of the OSCA head and providing also its his or her respective salary.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Catalan. Good, Honorable Mamil.
So to answer the question, coming from the answer of Honorable Catalan, the PWD and the solo parent both have their own president, which were also elected in a manner that the OSCA, the senior citizen coordinator, shall be elected. May I ask if I catch that right?
Okay, good, Honorable Catalan.
Yes, excuse me. Yes, Mr. President. Actually, count out the solo parents because we are still on the manner of approving it for the second reading. Maybe in the next session, napasa sa committee level, it will be referred soon for second reading. But the idea is we will uniform the manner of election of the senior citizen coordinators, the solo parent coordinators, and the persons with disability coordinators. The manner of election of the PWD coordinators is also the same with the senior citizen. It's all about uniformity in the manner of selecting their coordinators of every barangay based on the premise that they will be receiving honorarium from the city and that the city must justify the disbursement of funds for these individuals.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Mamil.
I am more than qualified, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the indulgence and thank you, Honorable Flopon Royal Catalan. No more questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mamil. Honorable Duali.
May I, Honorable? Thank
Okay, go
you,
ahead.
Honorable Presiding Officer. The honorable proponent had said a while ago, and I perceive that the paramount intention of this ordinance is to create the office and provide funds thereof. Honorable Presiding Officer, may I ask the honorable proponent on how would it affect to the organizational structure of our city, since it is a creation of another plantilla? I mean, is this a creation of another plantilla?
Okay, Honorable Catalan.
Yes, Mr. President. The Office of the Senior Citizen Affairs, or OSCA head, is already existing in our city right now. It is under the Office of the City Mayor. What this ordinance wishes to establish is first, its manner of appointment, manner of election and manner of appointment, and its
Salary.
respective salary. So, it's already there in the City Mayor's office, Mr. President.
Okay,
Right.
thank you, Honorable Catalan. Honorable Duali.
Since it is already existed, Honorable Presiding Officer, my point is, are we gonna give such a matter salary to the OSCA head?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer. May I?
Okay, go ahead.
Since the honorable proponent said that we can take a look at on the definition on the criteria of being an OSCA head, it is a senior citizen. Now, therefore, under Civil Service Code, we only allow 65 years old. So, if we are going to give salaries to 70 years old, so that would be tantamount to violation of civil service law. Oh,
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Catalan.
it's already retired.
No, Mr. President, this is not the OSCA head is not a plantilla position. Just to make it, just to clarify it. Secondly, Mr. President, yes, it's true that there is this civil service law, but there is this existing law, this special law, RA 994, which provides such specific qualification for such office. Actually, even the salary grade of the individual.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Duali.
All right, my point is, Honorable Presiding Officer, I was just perplexed by as what they have presented a while ago, that we are now creating this OSCA headed by a certain senior citizen. And if we are going to talk about salaries and wages, it should also entails other benefits like JSIS or another field health, and I suppose one of the criteria, you must be a senior citizen and with a certain experience of 3 years and so on and so forth. I think this is, again, a blatant contradiction to another civil service law, of which we only allow 65 years old. That's all, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Duali. You want to answer that, Honorable Catalan?
No, Mr. President.
Okay. Any more?
All right, period of debate and interpellation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and interpellation is now closed. We're now on the period of amendment.
Period of amendment is now closed. Period of debate and amendments now closed. Honorable Presiding Officer.
Period of debate.
Amendments.
Period of amendments now closed. Any objections from the floor? Hearing none, the motion adopting Committee Report Number 3, Series 2021, Committee on Social Services, regarding proposed City Ordinance Number 16, Series 2021, an ordinance creating the Office of the Senior Citizen Affairs, OSCA, and establishing the Senior Citizens Organization, the City of Panabo, appropriating funds thereof, and for other purposes, is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture for her, on behalf of the Committee Chair on Finance and Appropriation, Honorable Wyatt Anain, kindly do recognize Honorable Laika Charisma.
Okay, Honorable Charisma is now recognized by the Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President and Mr. Majority Floor Leader. Once again, good morning to each and everyone. In behalf of the Committee Chair, Honorable Wahid B. Ranain, I move to pass a omnibus resolution adopting Committee Report Number 37, Series of 2021, Committee on Finance and Appropriation regarding Sangguniang Kabataan Resolution Number 004, Series of 2020, of Barangay Maduaw, approving the 2021 annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Maduaw, Panabo City, amounting to 441,071 pesos and 60 centavos. Committee Report Number 38, Series of 2021, regarding Sangguniang Kabataan Resolution Number 007, Series of 2020 of Barangay Salvacion, approving the 2021 annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Salvacion, Panabo City, amounting to 1,300,428 pesos. And Committee Report Number 39, regarding Sangguniang Kabataan Resolution Number 006, Series of 2021 of Barangay Cutoy, approving the 2021 annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Cutoy, Panabo City, amounting to 323,745 pesos and 10 centavos. I so move, Mr. President.
Those who Venerable Charisma, duly seconded Venerable Blaser, Honorable Montino, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Hinteles, Honorable Duhali, Honorable Maming, Honorable Anad, Honorable Anain, and Honorable Pamisaran.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and interpellation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and interpellation is now closed. We're now on the period of amendment.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Any objections from the floor? Hearing none, the motion adopting Committee Report Number 37, 38, and 39, all Series 2021 on Committee on Finance and Appropriations, is hereby duly carried and approved.
Honorable Presiding Officer, a minute of recess.
Okay, 1 minute to declare the chair.
Okay.
Okay, session resumed.
All right.
Go ahead, Honorable Dolly.
Okay, Honorable Presiding Officer, done with the committee reports. We have lots of discussion and shedding light over every queries. And Honorable Presiding Officer, for the adoption of agenda, we have 2 unfinished business and 6 for the new business and 1 for the inclusion. And we have also for the third and final reading. Now, therefore, Honorable Presiding Officer, I move to pass a resolution adopting the calendar business of the 17th regular session. I so move, Mr. President.
To sue by Honorable Dohali, duly seconded by Honorable Blase, Honorable Matutino, and Honorable Anain. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none. The motion adopting the agenda of the 7th regular session of the 8th City Council is hereby duly carried and approved.
First to deliver his unfinished business, Honorable Presiding Officer. We have laid it on the table. At this juncture, kindly do acknowledge Honorable Wahid Ranain.
Okay, good. Honorable Anain.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. Mr. President, I move to pass a resolution authorizing Jose A. Relampagos, City Mayor, to sign the deed of donation between the City Government of Panabo and the heirs of Teresita Enriquez Barriga et al. Concerning the donation of a road lot located in Barangay San Vicente, Panabo City. I so move, Mr. President.
To sue by Honorable Anain, duly seconded by Honorable Pamisaran, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Blase, and Honorable Matutino.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, kindly do acknowledge the distinguished gentleman of Barangay Querido, Honorable Renante Bangoy.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Bangoy.
Today is Monday. Baskog patanan. Thank you. May I, Mr. President?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I ask since this is it was laid on the table, may I ask about the heirs of Miss Teresita Enriquez Barriga? Who are the heirs of Teresita Enriquez Barriga?
Okay, good. Honorable Anain.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. This legislation, Mr. President, which concerns about the donation of a certain road lot, Mr. President, the proponent would be, or the donor would be the heirs of Teresita Barriga et al. Mr. President, there are other, aside from Teresita Barriga, there's certain heirs of also Indita Enriquez Montefalcon and Eliza Enriquez Ivalarosa. Mr. President, if the interpolator would like to ask who are the heirs of Teresita Enriquez Barriga, according to the document presented, Mr. President, it was Jocelyn B. Espiritu, married, and Josephine B. Tanupan, widow, and Edgar E. Barriga, and Lani B. Lamuste. On particular only of Teresita Barriga, Mr. President, there were 4 heirs, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Anain. Good. Honorable Bangoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, I am asking because one of, I think, the daughter of the said Miss Teresita Enriquez Barriga was already died, and the heirs must execute an extrajudicial settlement on the said road right of ways. But it was stipulated during the committee report that the legal office said that they will be processing the said extrajudicial settlement on the said road right of way. May I ask how this will be treated since we will be approving such deed of donation where in fact the extrajudicial settlement of the road right of way was not being submitted or was not being complied yet by the donor.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Nanain.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask prior to answering, Mr. President, the particular ear of Bariga who is stated by, or who was declared by the interpolator as the dead or the patay na ear, Mr. President.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Banggoy.
May I ask a minute of recess, Mr. President, to
Okay,
scan all the data?
1 minute to the clear of the chair. na siya common.
Mr. President.
Kay Honorable Banggoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is just a clarification of committee minutes of the committee meeting conducted by the proponent, Mr. President, because the Honorable Henteles query about to execute the extrajudicial settlement of the state, since there were 2 heirs were deceased. And Mr. Bulawan, that the law requires that extrajudicial settlement of the state must be executed if any of the registered co-owners' property dies. And the city legal office is affirming that they are open for facilitating such document. So may I ask the proponent how this the committee minutes of the committee meeting arrived on this and how this being resolved, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Banggoy. Honorable Nine.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, Mr. President, it was being discussed during the committee hearing, as I remember through these minutes, Mr. President, that it was being asked by Honorable Hinteles, the extrajudicial settlement. But, Mr. President, the committee opted not to require the donor the extrajudicial judicial settlement, considering, Mr. President, of the factors that, number one, the said property to be donated is already a road lot, which has an area only of 241 square meter. And second, Mr. President, that the property will not be transferred in the name of the LGU Panabo or the city government of Panabo, but, Mr. President, it will just be annotated on the title that this property was being donated to the LGU Panabo for the use of the general public. That's why, Mr. President, to lessen the burden of the donor in executing the extrajudicial settlement, although the city legal office said that they can assist the donor in the execution of such, but the committee find out that the mere donation or the act of donating, Mr. President, the said property for the use of general public is enough to accept the donation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Nine. Any more, Honorable Bangoy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a clarification because there were it was said by the legal office that they will be facilitating. At least it is clarified now.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Bangoy.
Honorable
Nine.
Presiding Officer, the legendary Honorable Inad is raising his hand.
Okay, good, Honorable Anad.
Mr. President, in connection to the interpellation of Honorable Bangoy, now will the proponent agree with me that the subject property is registered under the name of the late Teresita Enriquez Barriga et al.
Okay, good, Honorable Nine.
Yes, Mr. President, based on the document presented.
Stated otherwise,
Okay,
Mr.
good,
President,
Honorable Anad.
stated otherwise, Mr. President, that the said property is registered under the names of the children of Teresita Enriquez et al. Is that correct, Mr. President?
Okay, good, Honorable Nine.
Can I be clarified again with the question, Mr. President?
Okay, again.
Allow me to rephrase, Mr.
Okay,
President.
good.
Will the proponent agree with me that that the title covering the said property is registered under the names of the three children of Teresita Enriquez Barriga? Is that correct?
Okay, good, Honorable Nine.
Or including Miss Teresita?
Mr. President, the title is named under Teresita Enriquez Barriga. And on the second page of the title, Mr. President, is that the names of Edita Enriquez Montefalcon and the name of Eliza Enriquez Ivalarosa was also reflected as under the title, Mr. President. That's why the three of them are executing the deed of donation.
Okay, good, Honorable Anad.
And Mr. President, may we ask the proponent what is the relation between and among Teresita Montefalcon and Balarosa, who are the registered owners of this subject property?
Okay, good, Honorable
Yeah.
Nine.
May I ask for a minute of recess?
1 minute to recess the clear of the chair. Okay, session resume.
Mr. President, may I?
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Ranain.
The three reflected names, Mr. President, are siblings, Mr. President.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Ranain.
Now, last question, Mr. President.
Okay, go ahead.
Are all these registered owners still alive?
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Ranain.
No, Mr. President. Particularly the person, Teresita Enriquez Barriga, is already deceased, Mr. President.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Ranain.
With that, Mr. President, just a suggestion to the focal persons who are going to prepare the documents, the proper deed of conveyance to be executed so as to effectively effect the conveyance of ownership of this property is extrajudicial settlement of estate with donation, Mr. President. Now, in connection to the suggestion also of Mr. Popong Catalan that it need not be transferred under the name of the DONI, the LGU Panabo, and it is just the donation or the extrajudicial shall be only be annotated in the owner's duplicate copy with the ROD. Please allow me, Mr. President, that there's another matter to be settled because it cannot be, as a private practitioner, and as I have came across with this for for several transactions, it cannot be annotated in the title under the registry of deeds without first settling the obligations. No? What I'm trying to say here, Mr. President, there's a need for the donors to settle the donors' tax before it can be annotated with the registry of deeds. So it's just an observation, Mr. President. I hope the proponent will take into consideration of my suggestion. What is important here is that there is a meeting of minds between the donors and the donees. The only thing is that we have to properly execute the proper deed of conveyance, which is the extrajudicial with donation. With that, Mr. President, I rest my case.
May I, Mr. President?
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Ranain.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am very much happy and I welcome all the suggestions of my colleagues, Mr. President. And as chairman of this committee, the committee is only acting upon the request of the executive department, particularly the endorsement of the city legal office, Mr. President. And upon perusal of the committee members during the committee hearing that there is no harm and the city legal department find it easy on their part to process the said document depending on the scenario outside, Mr. President, then the committee granted the request of the executive department na diri lang sa deed of donation. If dili siya pwede, Mr. President, then the committee is very much willing to amend the output of this property, but of this shall we say legislation, and hope na unsay ilahang mali is di nato na mausab pohon. But as to this legislation, Mr. President, I will still give only deed of donation to the request of the executive department. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Ranain.
All right, everything has been clarified on the wall presiding officer at this juncture. Debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
The period of debate and deliberation is now closed. We're now in the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor of the said proposed resolution number 74, series 2021, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting to grant the authority, we have Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Duhali, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Namuwag, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Catalan, Honorable Bangoy, Honorable Pamisaran, the proponent, Honorable Ranain, Honorable Attorney Humamil, Honorable Hindiles. May we know the vote of Honorable Attorney Enad? Honorable Attorney Enad. All members Honorable Chair voted yes for the motion.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed resolution number 74, Series 2021, authorizing Jose Iria Lampago, City Mayor, to sign the deed of donation between the city government of Panabo and the heirs of Teresita Enriquez Barriga et al. Concerning the donation of a road lot located at Barangay San Vicente, Panabo City is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, one item to be drawn on the table we have for the second reading in the proposed city ordinance number 2, series of 2021. At this juncture, on behalf of his co-author, Honorable Emmanuel Pamizaran, at this juncture, Honorable Presiding Officer, kindly do acknowledge the lead author, Honorable Conrad Theodore Matutino.
Okay, Honorable Matutino is recognized by the Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, at pugos to ang majority of floor leader. For second reading, Mr. Chair, the proposed city ordinance number 2, series of 2021, be passed. An ordinance regulating the operation of daytime private videoke karaoke machines within the residential area in the city of Panabo, with blended distance learning is ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, providing penalties for the violation. Therefore, and for other purposes, I so move, Mr. President.
Those Honorable Matutino, duly seconded by Honorable Blase.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Period of debate, interpellation is now open.
The co-author wanted to say something, the Honorable Pamisaran.
Who wants to interpolate?
Who wants to interpolate there?
Okay.
The co-author wants to interpolate the main author.
Okay, good, Honorable Pamisaran.
No. Thank you, Mr. President, and to our majority floor leader. Actually, this is not a matter of inquiry, Mr. President, but I would like to manifest my position with regards to this proposed ordinance, considering that I am the author of this proposed ordinance. First, I would like to extend my sincerest thanks to my colleagues, that our proposed ordinance was deferred last session due to some concern issues that brought to good recommendation. And with that, I highly appreciated my colleagues, Mr. Chair, because I believe and adhere to the basic principle that more heads is better than one. Allow me, Mr. Chair, that to present, Mr. Chair, there were 3 concerns that raised during the time. First, Mr. Chair, it was recommended that the title of the said proposed ordinance will add other similar devices. Although the said recommendation was already incorporated in the proposed ordinance under the terms and under the definition of terms, but however, I will amenable to the said recommendation, Mr. Chair, by my colleagues. Second concern also, Mr. Chair, with regards to the particularly on Section 6, the exemption, it was mentioned in the proposed ordinance that special permit for extension of time for special occasion may be granted by the city mayor. I still on the position, Mr. Chair, but it was suggested according to my lawyer, Honorable Banjong Duhali, that only the mayor can issue a special permit, no? But for the barangay council, they can only issue clearances. That's very clear, Mr. Chair. So we will add on maybe later in the period of amendments. But for the one concern, Mr. Chair, the definition of terms, particularly on the noise pollution, I stand to the position, Mr. Chair, to remain the said definition, Mr. Chair, considering that for the information of everybody, this proposed ordinance was patterned from municipality, from city of Mandaluyong and Caloocan, wherein the same definition of noise pollution was adopted, considering, Mr. Chair, that the ordinance is intended to heed the call of the ILG to enact ordinances, no, prohibiting videoke, but in our case, we are only regulating distracting noises during online class schedules. Now, the standard of noise producing equipment shall set a limit on the acceptable level of noise emitted from a given equipment for the protection of public health and welfare. Considering, and that's per Presidential Decree 115, although it pretty much regulates those in the industry. What I'm trying to explain is that the community standard barriers, Mr. Chair, even the jurisprudence, and if we will Google, though, we use Google and the definition of noise pollution. The definition would be a principle that an onward sound potential hazard to health and communication. I believe, Mr. Chair, that it is for the information of everybody that we have no devices for this, but still we will use the measurement, no? And I believe 50 feet is enough, Mr. Chair. But I'm trying to emphasize na at ang amo lang position nga the Department of Education, and as per request of the Department of Interior and Local Government, that we will go with this. I believe this is no harmful naman, no? We will use the measurement. That's only my position, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Pamisaran.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, can you to acknowledge the legendary Honorable Poloy Anat?
Okay, good, Honorable Anat.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. I would like to direct my interpellation to Honorable Pamisaran. Mr. Chair, may I?
Okay, good.
Now, please allow me to inform this honorable body that one of the requirements before an ordinance can be declared valid is that it shall comply with the requirement of substantial due process. What is this substantial due process? This requires that the proposed ordinance must be, number one, it must be reasonable, it must be just, and it must not be burdensome to the affected constituents. Now, is the ordinance reasonable? Yes, because this is for the benefit of our students, pupils, who are now having their studies in their residence. Is it just? Yes, it is just, because we are providing an atmosphere conducive to learning to our pupils. Now the question is the ordinance burdensome to our constituents? Well, in my case, Mr. President, I think it will not pass the requirement of burdensome, Mr. President. Why? There is no specific parameter as to when we should apprehend those violators, Mr. President. In other words, Mr. President, stated otherwise, we are now giving wide discretion. We call that in legal parlance as unbridled discretion to the law enforcers. No? Why unbridled? Kasi wala tay parameters eh. Wala tay parameters. Giyatagan na to pribilehiyo ang atong mga enforcers nga mo dakop ba karon o dili, kusog man na o hinay. No? So this can be subject to abuse. That's why I am telling this, Mr. President. I'm very supportive with this proposed measure, Mr. President. But sometimes we have to comply with the requirement of substantial due process. Burdensome on the part of our constituents, this may be subject to abuse, particularly to our law enforcers. No? Labi na karon, taga Barangay San Francisco ko, og nasuko sa kuha si Barangay Kapitan Bobot. Karo nasuko sa kuha, nagpa-sounds lang ko dito. Hinera ko to. Naman siya kasuko sa kuha. Gidakop ko, isyuhan ko og violation. So that's why, Mr. President, I am trying to be reasonable here. The purpose of the proposed measure is very noble. We have no problem with that. Only that this, in my own opinion, this might not pass the requirement of substantial due process precisely because burdensome siya sa mga constituents na to. So, I'm just conveying my position, Mr. President, and I would like to hear the wisdom of our good colleague, Honorable Pamisaran. Sir, may I hear something from you?
Okay, thank you naman, Honorable Pamisaran.
Thank you, Mr. President. I really appreciate and of course understand the sentiments of Honorable Inad that he's also worried that maybe the said ordinance will be abused, no? With regards to in the manner of implementation, Mr. Chair. But then still, I believe that this proposed ordinance is very useful. Normal man gyud na, nga kung what matters most kung kani siya mahimong ma-implement kung naalang may magreklamo. So anyway, tagaan na tog na discretion of prerogative ang ato ang barangay or the enforcer nato. But then I believe ang katong pagdetermine nato sa measurement, I believe is enough, Mr. Chair. Anyway, normal man gyud na bisag sa tanan nga mga manner sa implementation nato naman gyud nay magreklamo. So as long as nga we will stick on the law ug naman ni mga the same, no, sa mga related lang ang mga existing nga mga ordinance which is applicable also, I believe, Mr. Chair. Anyway, ang manner sa implementation ato maninggi pasa sa handled sa barangay. So I believe the ABC President, our barangay captain, can explain much more in the manner of the implementation, considering that he is representing for and on behalf of the Association of the Barangay Council, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you
And
naman,
for
Pamisaran.
experience purposes also.
Okay, do you want to say something, Martino? Okay, go ahead.
And also, Mr. Chair, to back up for the what we call this, the parameters set by Honorable Emmanuel Pamisaran. 2020, Mr. Chair, when the Department of Education crafted and produced a Department Order number 12. 2020 na siya nahitabo. And as to the distance learning, which is implemented in a whole nation, Mr. Chair. And of course, ang barangay, Mr. Chair, Laminac, barangay sa 40 barangays diri sa Panabo, we implement the Department Order, Mr. Chair, number 12, coming from the Department of, what we call DepEd, DepEd, Mr. Chair. Purposely to the constituents, among ginapasabot, nga mo ni siya ang blended distance learning, nga kailangan gud siya nga ang mga bata nga dili madisturbo sa ilang klase. And of course, as to the rise of Honorable Emmanuel Pamisaran to craft this ordinance, maybe kani siya, it will also help sa ato ang dito sa mga kami labi na kami nga mga captains nga for the implementation. Kay sa akong gingon, naga-implement yan imi og pasabot lang. And of course, wala man po'y resistant in sa kuan yun, sa actual nga kuan, wala'y resistant dito sa ato ang constituent sa 40 barangays, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Martino. Okay, go ahead, Honorable Inad.
Mr. President, considering that we are now under pandemic, I think there's a need for us to unite, and I am just only conveying the strict requirements, the rigid requirements of the law required to have a valid ordinance. Now, Mr. President, for the meantime, I think there's a need for us to pass this ordinance so as to allow so as to give our pupils, students who are having their classes in their own residences, giving them atmosphere conducive to education. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Anand.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, period of debate and interpellation is now closed and open the period of amendments.
Period of debate interpellation is now closed. We're now on the period of amendments.
The Honorable President.
Okay, good, Honorable Matutino.
Mr. Chair, may I also introduce a amendment, Mr. Chair, as to the proposed City Ordinance Number 2, Series of 2021, from an ordinance regulating the operation of the daytime private videoke. Where is that? Videoke title, the title.
Sa title.
Asa naman to?
Sa title.
Adan. Again, Mr. Chair, may I also introduce in an amendments to the title from an ordinance regulating the operation of the daytime private videoke karaoke machine within residential area in the city of Panabo while blended distance learning is ongoing during the COVID-19 pandemic, providing penalties for violation. To an ordinance regulating the operation of the daytime private videoke karaoke machine and other similar devices within the residential area in the city of Panabo while blended distance learning is ongoing during COVID-19 pandemic, providing penalties for violation thereof and for the purposes. I so move, Mr. President.
1 minute to Secretary of the Chair. Alibog ko. So resume. It was moved by Honorable Matutino, duly seconded by Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, and Honorable Pamisaran. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, the motion stated by Honorable Matutino is hereby duly carried and approved.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor of the said
For second reading.
ordinance for second reading, can you please raise your hand, Madam Secretary? Can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting for the motion, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Namuag, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Catalan, Honorable Bangoy, Honorable Pamisaran, Honorable Attorney Enad, Honorable Attorney Humamil, Honorable Wahid Ranain. All members present voted yes for the motion, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed city ordinance number 2, series 2021 is hereby duly carried and approved with amendments.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, we're done with the 2 items for the unassigned business. We are now on the new business. And first to deliver his proposed resolution, once again, kindly do acknowledge the distinguished gentleman from Barangay Querido, Honorable Renante Bangoy.
Okay, good. Honorable Bangoy?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to pass a resolution authorizing the city mayor, Jose A. Relampagos, to enter into and sign the memorandum of agreement between the city government of Panabo and the Panabo Multipurpose Cooperative for the conduct of different scales training in the city of Panabo. I so move, Mr. President.
To sub Honorable Bangoy, duly seconded by Honorable Pamisaran, Honorable Anan, Honorable Duhali, Honorable Ranain, Honorable Carisma, and Honorable Matutino.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and interpellation is now closed. We're now in the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor of the self-proposed resolution number 79, series 2021, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting to grant the authority, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Namuwag, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Catalan, Honorable Pamisaran, Honorable Attorney Enad, Honorable Attorney Humamil, Honorable Ranain, and the proponent, Honorable Bangoy. All members present voted yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed solution number 79, series 2021, is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, for his proposed resolution number 80, series of 2021, kindly do acknowledge the Honorable Plopon Royal Catalan.
Okay, good, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. Mr. President, I would like to pass a resolution authorizing the City Mayor, Jose E. Relampagos, to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Panabo through the City Social Welfare and Development Office and the Department of Social Welfare and Development Field Office 11 relative to the implementation of supplementary feeding program in the city on its 11th cycle. I so move, Mr. President.
To sub Honorable Catalan, duly seconded by Honorable Misaran, Honorable Anain, Honorable Duhali, Honorable Matutino, and Honorable Hinteles.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Again, nobody seems interested. Debate and interpellation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and interpellation is now closed. We're now in the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor of the self-proposed solution number 80, series 2021, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting yes to grant authority, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Namuwag, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Bangoy, Honorable Ranain, Honorable Pamisaran. May we know the votes of our attorneys? Honorable Attorney Enad and Honorable Attorney Humamil, and the proponent, Honorable Catalan. All members present voted yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed solution number 80, series 2021, is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, on behalf of the Committee Chair on Finance and Appropriation, at this juncture, kindly do acknowledge Honorable Charisma.
Okay, Honorable Carisma is now recognized by the Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President and Mr. Majority Floor Leader. In behalf of the Committee Chair, Honorable Wahid Ranain, I move to pass a resolution declaring the 2021 annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Maduaw, Panabo City, amounting to 441,071 pesos and 60 centavos. Proposed resolution number 82, declaring the 2021 annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Salvacion, Panabo City, amounting to 1,300,428 pesos and 80 centavos, and proposed resolution number 83, series of 2021, declaring the 2021 annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Kyutoy, Panabo City, amounting to 323,745 pesos and 10 centavos, operative in entirety. I so move, Mr. President.
To sub Honorable Carisma, duly seconded by Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Misaran, and Honorable Anain.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and interpellation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and interpellation is now closed. We're now in the period of amendments.
Period of amendments is now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor of the said proposed resolution number 81, 82, and 83, all series 2021, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting yes for the three resolutions, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Namuag, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Catalan, the proponent Honorable Carisma, Honorable Pamisaran, Honorable Attorney Humamil, Honorable Attorney Enad, Honorable Renain, Honorable Bangoy. All members present voted yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed resolution number 82, 83, 81, 82, and 83, all series 2021, is hereby duly carried and approved.
For the second reading of his proposed city ordinance number 1C, series of 2021, Committee on the Social Services, Honorable Presiding Officer. At this juncture, kindly do acknowledge Honorable Plopon, Honorable Catalan.
Okay, Honorable Catalan is now recognized by the Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Floor Leader. This representation, Mr. President, would like to pass for second reading the proposed city ordinance number 16, series 2021, on ordinance creating the Office of the Senior Citizen Affairs and establishing the Senior Citizen Organization in the City of Panabo, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. I so move, Mr. President.
Those move Honorable Catalan, duly seconded by Honorable Pamisaran, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Hinteles, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Blase, and Honorable Namuag.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
The Honorable Popon.
Who wants to interpolate himself?
Mr. President, I don't want to interpolate myself. I was just advised by the Majority Floor Leader to just to grab this opportunity. Just to, for the record, Mr. President, I wish to correct myself with all humility due to some inadvertence that I uttered that the OSCA head will be receiving salary. Actually, the OSCA head will be receiving an honorarium equivalent to salary grade 10. That's the proper
correct way.
Way, Mr. President. Just for record purposes, because in statutory construction, in case of doubt, they will be referring to the minutes of this session. So for the record purposes, I'll stand corrected.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Catalan.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, debate and interpellation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and interpellation is now closed. We're now in the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor of the said proposed city ordinance number 16, series 2021, for second reading, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting for its second reading, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Namuwag, Honorable Blase, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Bangoy, Honorable Pamisaran, Honorable Attorney Enad, Honorable Attorney Humamil, Honorable Renain, and the proponent, Honorable Catalan. All members present, Honorable Chair, voted yes.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed city ordinance number 16, series 2021, an ordinance creating the Office of the Senior Citizen Affairs and establishing the Senior Citizen Organization, the City of Panabo, appropriating funds thereof and for other purposes, is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, we have one item for the unassigned business, Honorable Presiding Officer, C.6, of which the Honorable Local Chief Executive asking for an authority. On this behalf, Honorable Presiding Officer, kindly to acknowledge once again the young, smart, and good-looking Honorable Plopon Royal Catalan.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. Certified urgent, Mr. President, this representation would like to pass a resolution authorizing the Honorable Jose E. Relampago, City Mayor, to enter into and sign the specific implementation agreement for the implementation of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. I so move, Mr. President.
To sue Honorable Catalan, duly seconded by Honorable Blase, Honorable Matutino, and Honorable Pamisaran.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and interpellation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and interpellation is now closed. We're now on the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor of the said proposed solution, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting yes for the authority, we have Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Duhali, Honorable Namuwag, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Attorney Enat, Honorable Bangoy, Honorable Ranain, Honorable Pamisaran. The proponent, Honorable Catalan. May we know the vote of Honorable Attorney Humamil. All member present, Honorable Chair, voted yes.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The motion authorizing our City Mayor Jose E. Relampagos to enter into and sign the specific implementation agreements for the implementation of Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program of the Department of Social Welfare and Development is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, we're done with the unassigned business. We have one business for the third and final reading. Now, Honorable Presiding Officer, on behalf of the Honorable Presiding Officer General G. Gabina, can you do acknowledge the co-author, Honorable Dison Palugan Namuwag?
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Namuwag.
Okay, in behalf of the proponent of this ordinance, our Honorable Vice Mayor John Reby Gavina, me as the co-author, I would like to pass a resolution for third and final reading. The proposed city ordinance number 12, Series 2021, partially reorganizing the organizational structure, staffing, and classification, action summary of the local government units of Panabo City, particularly under the office of the Sangguniang Panglungsod. I so move, Mr. President.
To sub Honorable Namuwag, duly seconded by Honorable Misaran, Honorable Anain, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Ambasan, and Honorable Blase, and Honorable Hinteles. Since this is for third and final reading, those who are in favor of the said proposed city ordinance number 12 for third and final reading, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting for its finality, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Catalan, Honorable Bangoy, Honorable Pamisaran. The proponent, Honorable Namuwag, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Attorney Enad, Honorable Ranain, Honorable Attorney Humamil. All members present voted yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed city ordinance number 12, Series 2021, partially reorganizing the organizational structure, staffing, and classification action summary of the local government unit of Panabo City, particularly under the office of the Sangguniang Panglungsod, is hereby duly carried and approved for third and final reading. Thank you.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, done with all the legislation. We are now on the announcement portion. Anybody who wants, okay, the Honorable Wahid Ranain wants to announce something.
Okay, good. Honorable Anain.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, Mr. Floor Leader. Would like to request the members of the Committee on Housing, Zoning, and Urban Development to kindly come back 1 o'clock this afternoon for a series of committee hearings. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, the Secretary to the Sangguniang, there is none. It's your time, Honorable Presiding Officer.
Ito, gagidala ni mo na bag. Okay, go ahead. Madam Secretary. No announcement?
You have no announcement. Honorable Presiding Officer, at exactly 52 minutes past the hour of 11, I move to adjourn this 17th regular session.
To sub Honorable Duali, duly seconded by Honorable Mamil, Honorable Enad. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, session adjourned exactly 11:52 a.m.